The do until loop, also called do until, is a conditional repetition, much like do while. The difference here is that the process repeats if the Boolean is false. So we're going to do something until it is true. Now this is a unique structure to Visual Basic. Most languages don't have a do until, or as we'll see in the next video, a do loop until, because we can use the not logical operator to negate a do while and have the same effect as a do while. But since we have a do until in Visual Basic, let's take a look at it. So again, the expression is going to happen at the top. This is a pre-test repetition. So if the Boolean expression is true, do until something is true, that process may never perform. But if the Boolean expression is false, we'll perform that process, and we'll keep repeating that process until the Boolean expression is true. I'm going to use that here in a little guessing game. We're going to have the user guess a number that is randomly generated between 1 and 100. And we'll keep repeating, asking for their guess in a do until loop. Now we're going to guarantee this happens at least once by making sure the Boolean expression starts out as a false expression. Creating a new random object. The num is an integer. It's going to equal the rnd.next of 100. That gives me between 0 and 99. Adding 1, I get a number between 1 and 100. The number of tries, or the integer variable tries, will keep track of how many times it takes the user to guess the number. The guess is an integer value. That's going to be their guess. And we set it equal to -1. So I'm guaranteed that guess does not equal the num, because the num is going to be between 1 and 100. Prompt is going to be a string of let's play, and then a second prompt, prompt 2, is another string of enter your guess between 1 and 100. We're going to combine those two in a input box, and we're going to change the value of prompt based on whether the guess was too high or too low. So here's my loop. Do until guess equals the num. Well, guess starts as a -1. The num is somewhere between 1 and 100. That's not going to be true. So therefore, it's going to do the process. In our process here, I created a x and y coordinate based on where my application was residing on the screen. I want to make sure that the input box kind of overlaps the application itself. So I created a my x and a my y equal to me.left plus 200 and me.top plus 125. Guess, though, is the input box of those two prompts with a carriage return line feed in between them. So I'm getting two lines. My title is going to be guess and the number of tries. The default value is a null string, quote, quote, and then my x and my y determine the location of the input box. The value the user enters is a string. However, I'm going to convert that to an integer and assign it to guess. Then my prompt equals, if guess is less than the num, my prompt is going to be the value of guess is too low. Otherwise, I'll keep the prompt. The next line is if guess is greater than the num, then the prompt is the value of guess is too high. And if it's false, we keep the prompt. I'm going to increment tries. So it's going to keep asking for the user to enter a new value using that input box inside the loop here, and the prompt, that first line of my prompt, will vary depending on whether it's too high or too low. If they get it correct, well then guess equals the num, and we'll exit the loop and we'll show them you guessed the number in. And because I'm incrementing tries at the end of that repetition, I'm going to do in tries -1 attempts and tell them they got it. Let's play the game. So I'm going to click the Let's Play button. I'm going to enter a value of 50 and click OK. And so I'm getting cut off a little bit here in my recording, but you still get the gist. I can move this over. I'm told 50 is too low. All right, let's try 75. OK. 75 is too high. Let's try 66. That's too low. I'm going to try 70. That was my fourth try. That's too high. Let's try 68. And I guessed it in 5 attempts. And I could play again. If you just jumped into this video, you can see all the videos from the Programming Practicum playlist by clicking on the image in the lower right. And if you'd like to be alerted to future videos I create, you can click my picture in the top right to subscribe to the channel.